In 2025, tombs appeared all over the world. These tombs caused massive earthquakes when they appeared, and with them came things known as relics. Relics changed the world 180 degrees, just like things written in ancient myths, fairy tales, legends, folklore, and epics. Relics contained immense power within them. The relics that appeared in our world were no different. They held the power to grant their owners countless different abilities. Because of this, stories of many people's lives changing due to possessing relics spread everywhere. People began to risk their lives to hunt for relics. The story begins under a tomb with only a few dim candlelights around, surrounded by a cold prison. A chilling sound echoed. A red-eyed buffalo was snorting, grinding its teeth menacingly, eyeing something. It turns out this is our protagonist. How the hell did he get so bloody and sweaty like this? He was grinding his teeth, cursing, "Damn it, you bastard!" as he slammed his fists onto the stone floor without feeling anything. Even though his hands were bleeding profusely, the stone slab beneath cracked from the punch, stained with blood. The sounds of the surrounding monsters continued to echo, as terrifying as a wife demanding a salary. While he used the strength of his two hands to drag his bloodied body, as he dragged himself, he spoke words of hatred and resentment. "How dare that old man treat me like this? No, I can't die like this." As he spoke, he lifted his head with a sharp gaze, facing the chilling sound. What a horrifying sight this was. It turned out that sound came from a tomb beast, a giant python. It roared, revealing a mouthful of teeth, plus red eyes and a terrifyingly long tongue. It looked no different from a debt collector. But he faced it without a shred of fear. "I won't die in such a humiliating way. In this dangerous situation, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I am Seo Juhaeon, 38 years old. I think I will die here today. If I had to say when everything became chaotic, it would probably be 15 years ago. I started this adventure later than most people. After much hardship, I finally obtained an incredible relic, the Architect's Relic. It was a relic that granted its owner immense knowledge about tombs and other important information related to relics. A new law was enacted worldwide. The bastards who had collected countless relics wanted to monopolize them, creating a new society by establishing laws that restricted the use of relics. The only option left was to work for those greedy bastards. Thanks to my outstanding abilities, a large company called TKBM hired me to work for them. The CEO of this company, Kwon Tae-jun, said my job would not be easy at all. Because of that, my work was extremely difficult, and many times I had to get my hands dirty. I could say my job was smuggling, theft, and espionage. But the most important part was tomb raiding. I honed my skills and could sneak into any restricted area to steal relics. The tomb raiding team I led achieved great results. Years later, this CEO became known as the strongest relic user. But that was thanks to all the relics we stole and that he took from us. The more famous this CEO became, the more people despised me. They said I was a piece of trash, working for a dictator. Ignoring all of that, I continued to work hard. What else could I do to survive in a world submerged in the power of relics? But to be honest, I never thought I would end up like this. The mission I am on right now is a trap set by Kwon because of the outstanding skills we possessed. He felt threatened. What a shameless bastard. Just looking at his face, you can tell he's greedy, a typical capitalist boss. Back to the present, Juhyun was being mercilessly attacked by that monster. Its red eyes were burning, with killing intent. It moved forward and headbutted him as a show of force, causing him to clutch his head and scream in unbearable pain. He couldn't endure it forever. He had to fight back. He reached for a nearby rock, then shouted at the snake, "You damn snake! You ate all my comrades, and you're still not satisfied." The rock was like an egg against a stone. It succeeded in provoking the snake. Its eyes lit up again like car headlights. He continued to curse at it. "All right, come on. I'll tear you to pieces from the inside." He must have thought he was Sun Wukong or something, tired of living and eager to meet his ancestors. The snake cooperated quite well, opening its mouth full of sharp teeth, intending to send him to his grave. He still had enough energy to curse that bastard, Kwon Tae-jun. "Even if I become a ghost, I will destroy your life." Juhyun's eyes became more hateful. The snake was ready to swallow him in one bite. But unexpectedly, a voice came from nowhere. "My God, you're a loudmouth." This voice startled him, and not just him. The snake also became alert. It looked around for the source of the sound. Just when things were getting good, the string snapped. He was still on high alert, even though he was like a fish on a cutting board. "What did you just say?" The strange voice immediately replied, "Oh, what, you can hear me," he immediately retorted. "You think this is the first time I've heard a voice from a relic? I don't know which god you belong to, but while I'm still talking nicely, you'd better deal with this snake and let me get out of here." Oh, he's like a fish, waiting to be eaten, and he still wants to threaten others. Truly impressive. The voice from the relic brought him back to reality, silencing him. "Do you really think you can survive with a body like that? Your body is torn in half. You're dying, but not for long. This is the end of your pathetic life." He now looked at his ruined body and was speechless. The voice continued, "Even though you have outstanding talent, it seems you were born too late. You couldn't even enjoy the power you obtained." After being hit where it hurt by the voice, he seemed to be in a daze. The snake, no longer interested in eavesdropping, opened its mouth to swallow him and end its meal. Ju Hyun still gritted his teeth, his eyes full of anger. "Don't talk like you know me. You think I wanted to live like this? My life." While talking, he suddenly shouted fiercely, "Damn it. Just thinking about it makes me furious. That bastard, I have to kill him at all costs." He shouted as the snake's head was getting closer. Was he really going to meet his ancestors this time? But no, the director wouldn't allow it. A light shone, making everything seem to stop. The voice echoed with laughter. "You've piqued my interest. It's truly a waste to see a talent like this die." This line was like a domineering CEO's, so satisfying to hear. Ju Hyun was startled. "What are you doing?" He wiped the blood from his mouth. The voice replied, "I'll give you another chance." In that light, an eagle appeared, spreading its wings majestically. Was it Yango's eagle? The bird spoke with a majestic voice. "Let's see if you can truly claim the throne this time." After a blinding flash of light, Ju Hyun opened his eyes again. His eyes were stern as he said, "The throne." What the hell was that? An hero rank or god rank relic? It looks like a crow. While muttering, he looked down and discovered his 2 legs were intact. Of course, he was so shocked that he stood up abruptly, his eyes full of surprise. "What, my legs?" Then he used his hands to touch his body in disbelief. "No injuries at all. What's going on?" All the wounds have disappeared. But when he turned his head to look around, everyone in his office was looking at him with contempt and ridicule. They were probably thinking, "What's this guy doing?" Everyone's eyes were fixed on him. His head finally processed everything he thought a police station. "What's going on?" Someone spoke up impatiently. "What are you mumbling about? I'm asking for your information. You think we have all night to play around?" Hearing him say that, Ju Hyun understood the situation and sat down. "Ah, I understand." The police officer frowned and asked again, "Please state your name." However, at that moment, he was still lost in thought. Did that crow do this? Is this a dream or a hallucination? I was clearly dead. How can I be so confused? While he was thinking, the police officer kept saying, "Damn it, what's your name?" The officer scratched his head in frustration. "I'm going crazy. Hurry up so we can go home." The officer next to him was sweating, dejected. "I give up. This year is known as the year everyone stays at the office, a terrible 2025. Hearing this, Ju Hyun was startled, then looked around. Is this the year 2025? It's clearly not 2025. Still doubting himself, he noticed the clock in the police station, June 7th, 2025. What the hell is this? Then he turned to look at the sallow-faced kid in the yellow shirt. "Wait, that high school kid looks familiar. I remember a drunk high school kid fought with me, so we both got dragged to the police station." Thinking this, his hands began to tremble. "I can't believe it. Is this real? I've gone back in time 15 years? While in shock, a voice echoed in his head. "Let's see if you can truly claim the throne this time." This sentence snapped him out of his thoughts. If this is January 2025, then the world is still at peace. This is before the relics appeared. This is even before the god rank relics appeared. If so, I can collect all the relics. Thinking this, he laughed like he had just been released from an asylum. "With my knowledge and memories of the past, I will start collecting relics sooner than anyone else." Thinking this, Ju Hyun laughed as crazy, his eyes gradually filling with enthusiasm and confidence. Things are starting to get exciting. After the world was plunged into chaos by relics, countless things happened to Seo Ju Hyun. An experienced tomb raider like him was thrown into a deadly tomb. He still had to deal with the trap set by his boss, Kwon Tae-jun, and now he was sent back 15 years before that great disaster. This was the best opportunity for him to seize the relics. While he was lost in thought, the high school kid's mother suddenly shouted at him, demanding compensation for hitting her precious son. Seeing the kid's face, he sighed because it was the kid who had provoked him into a fight first, then fell down and told his mom to demand compensation, even if he had asked them to halve the amount. He didn't have the money to pay now. Without his tools and the architect's relic, how could he dig up any money? The mother, being ignored, was about to slap him, but he quickly blocked her and locked her wrist. Ju Hyun was also surprised by his own strength. Was this the result of 15 years of experience and resistance? While he was stunned, the kid rushed up and punched him for hurting his mother. Unfortunately, he was slammed to the floor by Ju Hyun. He was even more amazed at this extraordinary strength. Seeing Ju Hyun still causing trouble, the police were about to intervene. He raised his hands and told the police to either jail him or give him a criminal record, because he didn't have the money to pay those two. The mother was crawling to check on her son, then turned to look at him with contempt. But Ju Hyun didn't care. The danger would come in 15 years anyway. While he was contemplating how to make money in jail, a line of text appeared before his eyes. "Tomb Raider Seo Ju Hyun." He thought his eyes were blurry or something. Then the next line of text disdainfully said, "A lowly pickpocket who can't even lift a shovel." Seeing this made him angry. He suddenly remembered the crow relic. Ju Hyun shouted and cursed the crow, but there was no response. The window appeared again, but this time it showed the scouting skill at F level, allowing him to see all objects within a 1-meter radius. He didn't believe it, thinking it was a joke from that damn crow, and threw a few punches at the system, but to no avail. Just as he threw his last punch, the quest window appeared. To become a full-fledged Tomb Raider, you must awaken 4 basic skills. The noise continued, and a police officer, annoyed, came to Ju Hyun's cell and told him to keep it down. After he apologized to the officer, he felt very strange. Was he the only one who could see this system? But that was a matter for later. He immediately tried his new scouting skill. Instantly, he could see countless objects within a 1-meter radius. He was overjoyed with this new ability. If he continued to collect 3 more skills, he would rise again. Even so, Joo-hyun still didn't trust that crow relic, thinking it was up to something. Suddenly, a voice called him from outside the cell. Detective Kim Geon-woo, his adoptive brother, from when he was an orphan, had helped him talk to the police and get him out of the cell. After leaving the station, Geon-woo comforted Joo-hyun, promising to put that kid in jail. Seeing his brother's enthusiasm, Joo-hyun was grateful. Geon-woo found it strange, because this was the first time he had been so grateful. Even so, Geon-woo still smiled in response to Joo-hyun's gratitude. Halfway through their walk, Joo-hyun asked Geon-woo about cases caused by superpowers these days. Geon-woo was perplexed, thinking Joo-hyun was drunk and talking nonsense, but still said that so far there had been no such cases except for his wife. Hearing this, Joo-hyun was somewhat relieved. Geon-woo patted his shoulder, telling him not to mind it and go home to rest. Even with the number of tombs now, there hadn't been a single relic case yet. It seemed like this was the right time for Joo-hyun to gradually search for clues about these relics. His goal now was to fly to the US or European countries to start, but the important thing was where he would get the money for the plane ticket. Just as he turned into a secluded alley, thinking about how to make money, a group of thugs blocked his way, threatening him. Seeing his first prey in his money-making venture, Joo-hyun smiled. As Seo Joo-hyun was on his way home, he was unexpectedly blocked by some thugs in an alley. The man in front of him was Park Kyung-tae, just a street punk, who now worked with his sister Park Kyung-joo at an exhibition, though there was nothing good about it. Previously, Joo-hyun had mainly worked under him to earn extra money, only to be worked to the bone by him and his gang until he was 20. They even held him back by not paying his salary. While reminiscing, one of Kyung-tae's cronies stepped forward and started provoking him. Before he could react, he threw a straight punch at the man's face, then glared at Kyung-tae's gang, saying he didn't want to work for them anymore. Like a bolt from the blue, Kyung-tae's gang became furious and was about to teach him a lesson. But Joo-hyun calmly ordered him to pay back all the wages he was owed. Hearing this, the whole group burst out laughing, then got serious and threw a punch at him. Unfortunately, he was counterattacked in the face and had his face slammed into Joo-hyun's thigh, blood splattering. The 2 lackeys, seeing their boss in danger, ganged up on him and were met with 2 punches to the face. Park Kyung-tae's gang was terrified by Joo-hyun's unusual behavior. Seeing their fear, he smiled with satisfaction at his 15-year-later achievement, then provoked them to fight back. Although he was provoking them, he still had to end it quickly because his strength was still too limited. Furious at this humiliating act, Park Kyung-tae pulled out his family's relic knife and rushed forward to teach him a lesson, but was stopped by his crony because it was for sale. But he didn't care about that and quickly rushed to attack him. Thanks to Joo-hyun's scouting skill, he quickly knew that he was holding a C-grade relic to attack. Even with the number of tombs created by relics, there were still some items hidden in human society. Even so, Joo-hyun had to get it with his 15 years of combat experience. He immediately punched him in the middle of the face, then easily won with an overwhelming victory, holding the knife to his neck and threatening him. Suddenly, the 2 lackeys rushed forward to free Park Kyung-tae, but with his current speed, he quickly dodged out of their sight, using the C-grade Gamma Knife's relic skill to identify weak spots invisible to the naked eye. And when the next 2 rushed to attack, he had already moved behind them and attacked them, without them knowing. Indeed, the relic had incredibly powerful abilities. Then he easily intimidated the rest of the thugs. Drops of blood began to fall. The whole gang was terrified by Joo-hyun's strange strength and begged for mercy. But if he still refused to pay up, he wouldn't be alive on this earth anymore. Park Kyung-tae had no choice but to grit his teeth and hand over all the money withdrawn from the bank to Joo-hyun, but he sneered at this amount of money from the gang. Seeing it wasn't enough, he glared at Kyung-tae, threatening to kill them if he found anything else. The whole gang was scared stiff. Suddenly, Park Kyung-tae handed over a golden statue to him. While Joo-hyun was examining it, they started murmuring, telling him not to sell it, but he wasn't that stupid. Since it was given to him, it was now his and could be sold for a large sum of money. After robbing Park Kyung-tae's gang, Joo-hyun left with the valuable items in hand. A moment later, Kyung-tae called his sister Kyung-joo to report the situation, but she didn't believe Joo-hyun was responsible and sighed at the uselessness of this bunch of idiots. Putting the money aside, Kyung-joo ordered Kyung-tae and his gang to immediately retrieve the golden statue at all costs, or there would be big trouble. At an antique shop, the owner said the statue was probably not even worth 50,000 won and that he should take it home for decoration. Joo-hyun was surprised. No way, the antique shop owner waved his hand. Trust me, I can tell just by looking at it that no one would buy it. Joo-hyun thought to himself, strange that bastard Park Kyung-tae acted like it was worth millions. In the end, this is just trash. He picked up the statue and walked out of the shop, thinking as he went, I clearly felt this thing was valuable. Was my feeling wrong because I don't have the architect's relic here? Suddenly, a purple smoke emanated from the Buddha statue. The system panel appeared. Scouting skill activated. You have detected something suspicious about the Buddha statue. He waved the system panel away and said, "Is there something inside the Buddha statue?" He shook the statue and a strange sound came from inside. "So that's it, I knew it. There's no way that Park Kyung-tae would be so desperate over a 50,000 won statue." Joo-hyun pulled out a small knife to see what was inside. He smashed the statue, breaking it into many small pieces. Suddenly, a small vial fell out from inside the statue. Joo-hyun picked up the vial thinking, some kind of drug, just a few drops in a cigarette and smoke it. This stuff is expensive. That bastard is selling drugs. Thinking back, they owned hundreds of art studios. If all those studios contained drugs. Joo-hyun took out his phone to call someone. "Brother Jeon-woo, it's me." In the afternoon, at an art studio, the reward for reporting stimulants was 100 million. Isn't that right, Mr. Chairman? A woman was on the phone with someone. "I assure you it's not because the goods aren't ready. We're just being careful because someone is watching us." The person on the other end of the line shouted loudly, making the woman's ears ring a little. "Yes, I'm very sorry for what happened. I'll contact you as soon as possible." After hanging up, she immediately cursed, "That bastard! Why would I want to hog all the money? I hope that old man dies in hell." The door suddenly opened, and two serious-faced men led a man who had been beaten black and blue into the room. Seeing the man, the woman shouted, "Where the hell have you been? Did you find the Buddha statue? We've been discovered. We're all doomed." Hearing that, her face turned pale. "What the hell?" A man approached and said, "We received a tip that you are organizing illegal drug trafficking." The woman heard this and immediately retorted, "Stimulants? This is all just artwork. We are law-abiding citizens. Why do you criminals always say the same thing? It's entertaining. We have enough evidence. I also know that this isn't all you have. You're also storing a lot of this stuff in your warehouse, right?" The woman thought, "Damn it, they know about my warehouse location in Gyeonggi-do. It's okay. The storage rooms in the warehouse are all locked with encryption." She still argued, "I don't know what you're talking about. If you don't have solid evidence, please don't blame an innocent person. Just because you're a police officer doesn't mean you have the right to interfere with other people's business." The police officer raised his walkie-talkie. A voice came from inside. 600 works, found in the Hwaseong exhibition, have all been checked. We found stimulants inside them. "Wait a minute, you guys opened my warehouse. Impossible, it's all encrypted." "You're right, but we have our own ways. Luckily, we had someone cooperating with us from the inside." "Student Joo-hyun, it seems this warehouse hasn't been opened yet. Is that so?" "Surprising. How do you know how to open all of these?" Joo-hyun replied smugly, "I have a good memory. The truth is, my memory is extraordinary. You could say it's my only talent. Because of that ability, Park Kyung-ju wanted to take advantage of me when I worked in the warehouse. At first, I had trouble because each storage room had a different code. At that time, I didn't suspect anything, but it was annoying, so I memorized them all." He smirked. "Everything is going according to plan. I'll get a reward, and with that money, I can start collecting relics soon. Look, there's still more drugs here. These guys are bold. You did a very, very good job, Student Joo-hyun." "Yes, I'm glad I could help." "Oh, right. Can I ask you guys for a favor?" The woman was being taken away, but was still stubborn, saying, "It's useless. Let me go." The police officer answered his phone. "Hello, Joo-hyun wants to talk to me." "Your brother, what's up?" "Hey, wait a minute. My brother wants to talk to you." "Hello, Mom. You should have treated me better. If I worked hard, you should have paid me in full, right?" She panicked. "That voice, Seo Joo-hyun. It was all you. And you should change your password every 6 months. Enjoy your vacation in prison." "What did you say, Seo Joo-hyun? I'll kill you. You hear me? You dog, is this how you repay me?" The sky was dark. Joo-hyun walked on the street, so refreshing. Suddenly, he received a message. From his brother Jeon-woo. "You did well, I'm proud of you. You'll soon receive the 100 million won reward. Don't spend it all wastefully. Remember to learn how to spend money wisely." That's just like brother Jeon-woo. He's always worried about me. But things will be different now. I have the capital to start preparing, and I'll find the relics before that bastard. You just wait. Suddenly, he noticed something strange happening. He said in surprise, "Where's my house?" The apartment where I lived was covered by a tomb. It must be a tomb created by a relic. The residents of the apartment complex were in a state of chaos and panic. "What the hell? Why did you push me? When did I push you?" "Calm down. The child is crying because of you. How can I be calm in this situation? Young soldier, please tell me what's happening. Sir, please calm down." Joo-hyun squeezed through the noisy crowd. There's nothing surprising. It's natural for people to panic. The relic tombs all contain terrifying power, so they often cause great chaos. Thinking back around this time, I received a call from my roommate. He said my apartment had disappeared, and he didn't know what to do next. At that time, I didn't understand what was happening, because I was being exploited by that Park Kyung-ju. When I finished work and returned home, everything was normal. If so, it means someone has completed the tomb. The surrounding people were confused and panicked about the current situation, but Joo-hyun knew very well that his opportunity had come, because every tomb contained a powerful relic. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. "Please don't shoot me." He turned to look and saw it was his roommate, Kim Dong-hyun. Suddenly, the officer raised his gun and said, "Silence. Do I look like I'm joking with you? Stop asking random questions. Where are you?" Joo-hyun came forward and kicked the officer in the face, saying, "How dare you point a gun at a civilian?" Then he turned to greet his friend. "Long time no see, Kim Dong-hyun. You haven't changed a bit, you fat crybaby." At this point, the officer slowly got up. Ju-hyun approached him and said, "Are you awake now, officer?" The officer said, "Sorry, I just lost control for a moment." "Whatever, explain what's happening here. Why is the army here? Because these kinds of problems are usually handled by the police." He thought to himself, something is unusual. Why did they send so many soldiers here? Then he suddenly said, "Are you guys trying to enter that tomb? This is top secret information. No, I need to know the reason. Now all I know is that the government might be my rival. Has the government already known about the existence of relics? Don't joke with me, I live right there, so I have the right to know. I need to know why the fully armed military is here. I think you're not a problem, but you're making a big mistake. You know, I can report to the competent authorities about you pointing a gun at a civilian, right? Don't make the situation worse, I just want to know the reason." The officer had no choice but to reply, "Well, we're trying to figure out what's over there and excavate what's inside. You don't have to worry about the danger. We will ensure everyone's safety." Ju-hyun put his hand on his chin thinking, they're going to explore it. "No way, you can't open a tomb like that," the officer continued. "We have invited foreign experts, so I'm sure everything will be fine." Foreign experts. Now everything is clear. "I see, thanks for telling me, I feel safer now." "All right, keep up the good work, thank you." "Have you finished talking to him? What did he say?" "Do nothing and stay here." "Yo-hyun, he's acting strangely today." In a deserted area, a woman named Linda said, "Are you sure the Korean government doesn't know anything about the tomb?" "I believe so." "Why do you keep asking?" "Because there are so many soldiers here. Because they are trying their best to support us and also to avoid curiosity from the public. There are people who understand English." "How's the mission going?" "The explosive device will be activated soon. Everything is going smoothly." "All right, don't let your guard down until the last moment, I understand." Suddenly a man approached and said, "Good evening." Linda asked, "Who are you?" The man continued, "Why are you so surprised? I should be the one here, not you. We are neighbors with Korea, and you're from the US quite far away. Are you guys so desperate that you came here to steal?" Linda, hearing the man's words, retorted, "We are just recovering a relic stolen from the International Police Organization. Our mission is to maintain peace and conduct safe experiments related to relics." "Oh, how wonderful. If we now promise to also conduct experiments safely, can we keep the relic?" "We all know you're not allowed to. Why do you think we should believe you? But it doesn't matter now. We all have the same goal. So don't talk about this kind of useless stuff anymore. I guarantee the relic will be ours." "You're quite confident. We'll see." Ju-hyun went to check the situation around him. He discovered two people talking to each other. They seemed to be high-level excavators. However, to him, they were just amateurs. After a while of observation, Ju-hyun successfully found the ancient characters of the tomb. Each relic wanted to introduce itself in its own way and wanted to be noticed by the world. Only those who understood these ancient characters could know where the entrance was and what kind of traps were inside. Basically, it would give us information about everything in great detail. These special ancient characters would be extremely difficult for ordinary people to decipher. However, from Ju-hyun's perspective, it was really too easy. Not long after, he quickly solved the puzzle. As soon as Ju-hyun knew where the entrance was, the system immediately sent a notification, reminding him that he had obtained the title of Special Decipherer and unlocked the basic skill, Linguistics, at F level. Then Ju-hyun went to the nearby riverbank. A large red capital letter glowed dazzlingly. He immediately used his gamma knife to slash. At the character with great force, a stream of red energy appeared. A stream of red energy shot up into the sky. The entrance to the tomb was officially opened. Ju-hyun was also immediately teleported inside. However, he did not know that the two excavators from before had managed to enter the tomb in time. After taking a few steps, Ju-hyun sensed movement from behind. It seemed that someone wanted to compete with him for the treasure. Ju-hyun smiled slyly and immediately activated the trap on the wall, causing the two of them to worry before they could understand what was happening. They were submerged in a torrent of water. Ju-hyun was standing in front of a large lake, admiring the dagger in his hand. Suddenly he threw the dagger into the water. A giant snake poked its head out of the water. The monster then asked which dagger he had lost. Then it opened its giant mouth, and inside were a golden dagger and a silver dagger neatly arranged. The monster asked Ju-hyun which one he had dropped. Ju-hyun couldn't help but mock it in his heart. Was this giant snake treating him like a fool? The relic in this tomb was called the Golden Axe and Silver Axe. It was based on a fairy tale derived from the fable of the goddess and the woodcutter. As long as he honestly answered that he had lost an ordinary knife, the snake would give him a precious golden axe. Ju-hyun immediately answered decisively that neither of these items was his. The giant snake opened its big mouth again. "Then is this yours, little human?" If he answered yes at this moment, he could successfully pass the tomb and receive the reward. However, Ju-hyun was not that kind of person. He knew that this tomb still had a hidden solution. He immediately pretended to be confused, wanting to check carefully if it was the knife he had dropped. The snake, without any suspicion, obediently tilted its head over, seizing the opportunity. Ju-hyun slowly put his hand into the monster's mouth. As soon as he got the knife, he immediately swung his hand with great force. A large gash was created on the giant snake's body. It angrily asked, "You foolish human, what the hell are you doing?" But Ju-hyun just smiled faintly because he would never trust a monster. Long before his reincarnation, he knew that the golden axe could control its owner, turning him into a murderous monster. because all relics had their own spirits, and they were all born with the purpose of harming humans. Relics would grant their owners powerful skills, but if used for too long, they would cause them to lose control. Without wasting time, Juhyun jumped up and stabbed the giant snake hard with his dagger. The powerful attack caused the monster immense pain, however it did not submit to that ability. With a serious face, Juhyun continued to channel power into the dagger to finish off the monster. Juhyun said, "Let's see how long you can last. I will assert my dominance, and you must obey." He used the small sword to stab the python's neck, causing it to roar in pain. "Stop it, human!" He just smiled smugly and asked, "Does it hurt? Let's see how long you can last." After saying that, he used his hand to push deeper. At this moment, a soldier was pointing a gun at some civilian, grinding his teeth, about to shoot him. So you need to have talent to a certain degree if you want to control relics, and if you have no talent at all, you will be swallowed by them. That talent is divided by scholars into 3 main groups, including sociability, which is the ability to form relationships with relics. The second group is dominance, which is the power to command and control relics. The third group is compatibility, or considered a strong bond between the user and the relic, as if they were made for each other. For example, a musician finding a musical instrument relic. Most people want to enhance their sociability, and that's the easiest way to use relics, and allows you to get full power from the relic. But choosing that path is too brutal. When the relic becomes close to its owner, it begins to emit a poison that gradually weakens the owner. That's why he never followed the sociability path. The ones who choose that path are just dogs. He shouted, stabbing deep into the python relic. "Kneel before me." He reminded it, "If you don't obey me, I will tear you into pieces." He even asked again to be sure you don't think I can do it. The python in pain thought, "You humans are so desperate for us." After a while of fighting, he finally obtained the golden axe in the shape of a python, holding it in his hand with a happy expression. Suddenly the system displayed a notification. "You have unlocked a title and discovered a new skill. You have unlocked the basic skill of Tomb Raider, Tomb Excavation." His basic skill items appeared all still in a state of limbo. He was happy to have a new skill. Now he just needed to unlock one more skill. He didn't know what to do. While thinking, the system opened another notification about relic abusers. "You have unlocked a title that enhances your dominance." In it, relic dominance was A+, and relic communication was D+. Seeing this, he shouted at the crow messenger, "How am I considered a relic abuser? And it doesn't matter if my sociability drops, I don't need to use it anyway." Suddenly, from inside the cave, 2 people shouted, "Found it, a pond." This is exactly as the prophet said. They laughed loudly. He glanced at them, as if he didn't expect those bastards to arrive faster than he thought. They were holding a red jar and kept saying, "Come out, relic." Not understanding what he was doing, she asked, "What are you planning to do?" Then he threw the red jar into the pond, surprising her. On the cliff, he was looking at them with a disdainful smile. "You fools, it's too late." He had an idea to follow them for a bit, because he had a feeling they would be in his way later. At this moment, he took out his sword, thinking, "Should I take their lives?" Suddenly, the system notified him that the number of uses for this Egyptian ceremonial knife was only 54. He then realized it had been used, and that this might be the crow's way of reminding him to think more carefully. He was angry because there was no reaction. The prophecy said he had to throw an item into the lake. She questioned the prophecy. So there's a relic user in Japan who can use prophecy. He then realized that it didn't matter. Now he realized someone had stolen the relic. This has become complicated. It means more people know about them. She nodded because of the footprints on the ground. Someone must have been here. Suddenly there was a strange sound from over there. It was because he had thrown a stone down there. He looked at the axe and sighed. They are so easy to fool. I wonder how they will escape when the tomb collapses. Then he used the relic to close the tomb. The light from the axe shone brightly, and the rocks began to collapse, causing them to panic. Despite their frantic search for a way out, he just turned and walked away indifferently. At this time, the sky was getting dark. He opened the manhole cover to climb out, brushing off the dust while complaining that the tomb's exit led straight to this sewer, and his clothes were all dirty, but he probably wouldn't be noticed. When he returned to the apartment, the tomb that had enveloped it was no longer there. At first, everyone was confused, but then they all returned home. Suddenly, everyone was surprised to see Kim Dong-hun return. He greeted Juhyun. "Why are you spacing out?" Juhyun told him that the big mountain had vanished. Contrary to his surprise, Kim Dong-hun exclaimed, "Thank God I'm hungry, let's go home." Seeing his courage, Juhyun couldn't help but worry, is it safe to go in now? What if we get buried alive? Kim Dong-hun calmly reassured Juhyun with a nonchalant attitude. In another development, the other guy was on the phone with someone. Unexpectedly, there was another prophecy that someone in Korea had taken it before them. He shouted, "Why didn't you say so earlier? How could you miss such important information?" We didn't find out until now. He also knew what the future guiding relic was like. He then remembered they couldn't read kanji. He shivered with anger. "You're all scholars and you can't read it." Now they could only blame the youth of today, and promised to do their best to prevent what happened tonight from happening again. They also warned him to be more careful. The one who took the relic today seemed to be no ordinary person. The prophecy related to that person made him quite uncomfortable. Kim Dong-hyun was eating noodles and drinking beer, and was also intently searching for something. That's the English language skill. I feel that learning on this is very convenient, and I can find information in any language. Suddenly he felt they were no longer useful, and this was before the existence of relics spread throughout the world. He quickly typed to search for what Kwon was up to. The result was no useful information related to TKBM. Joo-hyun, seeing him like that, was very surprised, not thinking he could read it. After thinking for a while, Kim Dong-hyun turned back and asked if he wanted him to read it to him, but Joo-hyun only asked to satisfy his curiosity without needing to learn about it. Kim Dong-hyun asked if he knew anything new about TKBM. Joo-hyun denied it and was curious what Kim Dong-hyun wanted to know it for. He just said he wanted to know the details about the CEO of that company. Hearing that made him even more curious. What did Kim Dong-hyun need it for? Joo-hyun scratched his head. Big companies like that don't usually meet with small companies. Kim Dong-hyun said he had also quit his job. Hearing him say that made Joo-hyun very shocked, and he kept asking him for the reason. He just said to wait a bit, because Park Kyung-ju had an art exhibition, and he would use these guys to get information about that bastard. Kim Dong-hyun was on his way somewhere, while Hyun-nim was searching the room because they had left nothing behind. The underling reported that the big sister had been arrested. "We can't continue this work anymore. We're really unemployed now." However, he already knew this information. Hyun-nim, holding a cigarette, cursed. It's all because of that bastard Seo Joo-hyun. So he decided not to let this go and had to kill him. The underling laughed with delight, praising him. "You must repay the big sister." Hearing the praise made him feel proud, as if he was standing in the spotlight. The underling reminded him that someone was calling him. It was Seo Joo-hyun. He didn't expect that dog to call him at this time. The underling told him to answer, and Hyun-nim picked up answering with a worried hello. Suddenly, a voice on the other end replied, "What took you so long to answer?" Hearing that made him furious. He shouted into the phone, "You ungrateful bastard! How dare you sell out your big brothers!" Kim Dong-hyun didn't hesitate to ask if they were still in the porn business. He knew he hadn't signed the contract termination yet. Hyun-nim challenged, "What the hell do you want, you bastard? Because of you, all the big brothers and sisters have been arrested and all the artwork has been confiscated. Now we have no choice but to stop doing business." Kim Dong-hyun sighed. "So you still haven't stopped doing business, which means you can still work, right?" He got straight to the point. He wanted them to go to Midas. Hearing the reputation of this place surprised them all. Midas was the world's largest secret auction house located in Las Vegas. Many of the world's great treasures were gathered there. He also knew Kwon had participated in auctions there and bought many powerful relics. Midas was the best place to get all kinds of relics. If he had someone there, he could almost gather all the information related to that bastard, Kwon Tae-jun. So Kim Dong-hyun said, "This month go find some items and the whereabouts of a person at the Midas auction for me. That's Jack the Ripper, and that name is a pseudonym Kwon Tae-jun often uses. If you can't find that person, report to Seo Joo-hyun." He reminded them, "If you dare to give false information, don't blame me." Hyun-nim wondered how to get into Midas, as they had only been able to work until now, thanks to the big sister's connections and skills. But Seo Joo-hyun just denied that, and told them to find a way themselves, because he was very busy. Seo Joo-hyun promised to pay, depending on the quality of the information. Hyun-nim didn't believe him, angrily shouting at him that no matter how much he paid, he would never listen. Seo Joo-hyun just ignored them, because at all costs, those people would go to Midas. He also mentioned he would beat them until they agreed. Hearing that, they broke out in a cold sweat and gritted their teeth, agreeing to follow Seo Joo-hyun. After dealing with matters related to Kwon Tae-jun, he continued to hunt for street relics. The streets were dark and cold. People were still doing their jobs. Today's news reported that in the square area of Yongdongpo district, around 3 a.m., a 40-year-old woman tried to commit suicide by burying herself alive. At this time, Seo Joo-hyun was passing by and heard it. He thought to himself, "I wonder if this case is a harbinger of the appearance of the next tomb." After thinking for a while, he concluded, it's probably not related. Suddenly, Kiyoshi appeared from nowhere and asked him how long he was going to stand there, because Seo Joo-hyun was standing in front of the convenience store entrance. Although his face was very angry inside, this Kiyoshi seemed to be afraid of him. He remembered this was the bastard from the Golden Axe and Silver Axe relic tomb. But Seo Joo-hyun seemed to understand what he was saying, but still looked at him with a cold expression. Kiyoshi schemed, if Seo Joo-hyun is here, it means a new tomb is about to appear in this area. The Retribution Seo Joo-hyun in Japan, there is a person who possesses a prophecy relic to help them. He sneered at that and shouted at him to shut up. "You're too loud. You think I don't understand what you're saying?" Kiyoshi was surprised because he knew Japanese, so he apologized repeatedly, and he was also happy because the linguistic skill was quite useful. Suddenly, Seo Joo-hyun spoke Korean to him. Being played with, he was very angry and cursed him, while he just laughed at him for starting the trouble first. Kiyoshi kept cursing Seo Joo-hyun while he just went to pay and ignored him. Suddenly, the prophecy reminded him about the bastard Seo Joo-hyun carrying a relic, and not even bothering to hide its power. What an amateur! He still resentfully chased after Seo Joo-hyun, who was ignoring him. He just touched his shoulder. When he was sprayed with beer from a can, he opened. This action made him even more furious, and he kept provoking him with a somewhat intentional expression. While pretending to take care of him, he snuck his hand into his pocket and discovered he had a bracelet and a small relic, but if he stole it now, he would be exposed. So he just made small talk to distract him. Suddenly his ID card fell and was picked up by Seo Juhyeon, which made him very worried, not knowing if Seo Juhyeon had seen his ID. If the fact that a member of the Japanese excavation team was here became known, things would become very complicated, but he forgot that he was the king of tomb raiders. Suddenly something unusual was about to happen. The surroundings trembled as if there was an earthquake. Then the ground sank, causing everyone to fall freely tumbling in panic. However, Seo Juhyeon was not panicked, but secretly happy because he was also waiting for the tomb to appear. And then he ran away. Kiyoshi stood there laughing as if he had won the lottery. This chaos, it seemed everything was happening exactly as in the prophecy. On the other side, the prophet called him and needed him to know one more thing. A Korean had taken the golden axe and silver axe and was nearby. Before he could laugh gleefully, he had to strain his eyes and frown to hear the rest of this part. The prophecy isn't very reliable, but he should also be careful not to drink. He suddenly remembered the act of spraying beer on him was by Seo Juhyeon, and that was the person mentioned in the prophecy. Everyone was running away from that place. He was listening to their prophet's words. Kiyoshi should be careful with alcohol. It sounded unusual. So he realized Seo Juhyeon was the person mentioned in the prophecy. Suddenly Seo Juhyeon appeared right behind him, and he was also holding a can of beer. Suddenly Seo Juhyeon disappeared in a flash, forcing him to look for him and tell them to inform him immediately if there were any more prophecies. At this time, Seo Juhyeon was in a place that gave him the feeling that someone was thirsty for blood. He walked while observing his surroundings because it was completely different from the previous tomb, and it seemed this relic would be difficult to tame. Finally, he found Seo Juhyeon. He immediately pointed his gun at him and forced him to stop. If you don't want to get shot, don't move. He was not scared at all, as if he knew he would come. He ordered him to open his backpack, but he ignored him, making him boil with anger. Suddenly, the crow announced to him that the surroundings were pitch black, making Kiyoshi more wary of everything around him. It was a warning that a terrifying force was approaching. At that moment, cracks of yellow light suddenly appeared on the floor, glowing. The light seemed very strong, capable of erupting like a volcano. In the darkness, everyone noticed the light shining everywhere. Seo Juhyeon had a severe headache, so the crow asked if he was okay. After getting his bearings, he stood up and saw the tomb was full of broken weapons. He had been here before in his past life. The crow said this was also called the tomb of the Japanese katana relic Muramasa. As is known, Muramasa was a famous swordsmith in Japan during the Muromachi period who founded the Muramasa school. The swords forged from the Muramasa school were very famous and considered masterpieces. During that time, the relationship between them and the Tokugawa shogunate all were killed by the very katanas he forged. Because of that incident, Tokugawa ordered all of Muramasa's swords to be destroyed, and there were rumors that all Muramasa swords were cursed katanas. Seo Juhyeon realized this relic contained a lot of resentment towards humans. Suddenly, the crow added that the relic's bloodlust was clinging to him, and his skin was being damaged, so he needed protection. At this moment, he felt a sharp pain somewhere. Cracks appeared on his hand and began to spread everywhere, and he had to quickly deal with this tomb. However, Kiyoshi did not let Seo Juhyeon go, and ordered him not to move and to open his bag and empty everything out for him. He still raised his hands in surrender, but his mouth was still very provocative. He coldly smiled smugly, reminding him not to joke around if he didn't want him to pull the trigger. Contrary to expectations of obeying Kiyoshi's words, he told him to shoot, but still advised him not to because it was useless. Being challenged, he became angry and pointed the gun at his leg. Seo Juhyeon still challenged him to do it. However, a light exploded in his hand, causing him pain. He grabbed Kiyoshi's lapel and dragged him away. That relic is mine now, so don't even dream about it. Not understanding why Seo Juhyeon was dragging him, he resisted, but failed. He used a fatal punch to knock him down, advising him not to get in his way anymore. Seo Juhyeon explained that when entering a tomb, all modern weapons are useless because relics don't want humans to easily pass through the tomb. Kiyoshi was still suspicious and accused him of taking the golden axe and silver axe. Seo Juhyeon wasn't even worried about others attacking him, but instead lifted him up using his superpowers. The ghosts in the tomb surrounded him, while he just laughed contemptuously, informing him that the trap here was also very annoying. After saying that Seo Juhyeon ran away, leaving Kiyoshi there with the mummies, he swore he would kill Seo Juhyeon. At this time in the city, everyone was surrounding him. He looked strange. Kiyoshi asked if anyone here could speak Japanese. One person knew a little, so he wanted to ask that person for help. Then he mobilized everyone around to help, but everyone was hesitant because he was carrying a gun and could be dangerous to them. He reassured everyone because he couldn't just leave him like that. Kiyoshi continued to plead for help by showing his ID to prove he was from the Japanese excavation team and had been trained to handle situations like this. He promised to get everyone out of here safely. At this time, Seo Juhyun was finding out what relics Kiyoshi had. A moment ago, when he threw him, he had managed to reach into his pocket, and that bastard dared to confront him without any knowledge of the tomb. His relics were only a bracelet and a small box of rice cakes. The bracelet was from a Korean folktale, The Two Brothers Who Became the Sun and the Moon. At that time, the tiger had killed the mother to eat more rice cakes. While trying to kill the two brothers, a rope came down from heaven and saved them. In short, Seo Juhyun found this relic not the best but quite useful. The crow announced to the petty pickpocket that he had unlocked a new title and discovered a new skill and had awakened the basic Tomb Raider skill, Nimble Fingers. So Seo Juhyun had all 4 basic skills. A series of categories appeared before him, announcing that he was becoming an official Tomb Raider. Seo Juhyun would receive a reward after leaving the tomb. At this moment, he was embarrassed to realize that the crow was treating him like a game character. However, he still took the reward, so he didn't complain. Suddenly, on the other side, there were people calling for help, but he didn't know what was going on. He started looking for where the sound was coming from. He looked down the hole from before and saw a girl holding a knife and about to harm the people around her. It was a trap of this tomb. Down below, a female student was holding a sword, her body emitting a dark aura. The people below were scared and shouted, "Someone please stop that girl." Student calmed down, but she had lost consciousness. She's lost consciousness. Her face was fierce and full of killing, intent looking at everyone. It seemed the girl's body was possessed because anyone who touched that knife would be possessed. When a person is possessed by that knife, it is very difficult for the possessed person to escape, and in the end, they will all die. That is the nature of this trap. The more people die in this pit, the more that bridge will be developed. This is a sacrificial trap. Seo Juhyun, standing above, asked loudly, "Who brought you guys into this pit? Was it a Japanese person?" They replied, "That's right, it was him. He sang some strange songs and then escaped from here. We helped him, but he led us into this trap. He said that we needed to die to protect a secret." Seo Juhyun angrily said, "That bastard. He thought maybe that's what the prophecy relic user told him to do." Seo Juhyun was not afraid, ignoring the blades stuck all over the walls. He still rushed down to save everyone. The people saw him rushing down and worriedly said, "Be careful, there are many blades on the walls." Seo Juhyun quickly used his dagger to cut all the blades and landed safely, to everyone's amazement. The girl saw Seo Juhyun and immediately changed direction, rushing towards him. Seo Juhyun didn't want to hurt the girl, so he took out a bracelet relic from his pocket that he had stolen earlier. Then he ordered it to tie up the girl. The bracelet immediately turned into a strong rope and rushed towards the girl, then tied up her hands and feet, causing her to lose her balance and fall to the ground. The sword in her hand also fell out. He approached, picked up the sword and said, "Stay still, I'll save you right now." The sword said in a threatening tone, "Who the hell are you? But it doesn't matter, does it? Now go and kill all those humans." Seo Juhyun frowned and said, "How dare a useless relic like you teach me what to do?" After reading the notification panel, he continued, "A C-rank relic? It's not even a proper relic. What a piece of trash. What a useless relic. Where is the boss of this tomb's relic?" While speaking, he threw the sword away. The girl had now regained consciousness and was screaming, begging, "Please untie me." The rope happily said, "Hey human, play with me." He thought, "Is this relic crazy? Normally relics will do whatever they want when left alone." Then he went to retrieve the rope, untying the girl. Then Seo Juhyun turned and told everyone to follow him. He would lead them all out of here. Also in that tomb. But in another place there was a smug laugh. "Ha ha ha. I'm a genius." That person was Abe Kiyoshi. He was proud because he had eliminated all the troublesome witnesses and had also found the relic's room. Now he just needed to find the Muramasa and then escape from this annoying career. Now he discovered that his relic had been taken by Seo Juhyun. He said angrily, "That bastard who took my artifact. Just you wait, I'll make you taste suffering." After he tiredly checked all the swords here, he angrily shouted, "Damn it, they're all fakes. Where is that Muramasa?" Suddenly behind him a voice said, "Found him." He turned around and saw everyone looking angry. "How dare you trap us?" He was shocked, not knowing how on earth everyone could escape from there. Before he could recover from his shock, he was grabbed by the collar, by everyone thrown to the ground and trampled. At this moment, the protagonist came and said, "You are ridiculous." Even though he was beaten like that, he was still very defiant. "You dog, it must be you." Seo Juhyun laughed and said, "Of course, who else could it be? I can't believe you couldn't identify the artifact, even though you got here first. You're such an idiot." He took out the golden axe relic. It was a relic with the ability to locate treasure. He ordered it to locate the sword. Then a sword in front of him began to emit a mystical light. Surprising him, "I can't believe a broken sword like this is a Muramasa." He went to pull out the sword and laughed. That's because it only returns to its true form when it's activated. The sword threatened a human, trying to dominate me. What a foolish human. Its body had been weathered and broken. If Seo Juheon wanted to use its power, he had to sacrifice 10 people. It needed human blood to restore its original state. If Seo Juheon couldn't do that, he could be buried here forever with the rest of the people. He wondered, is someone talking to Seo Juheon impossible? Everyone was worried. Does that mean 10 of us will have to die? He looked at the silent crowd in front of him, then turned to the sword and said, "Weapon relics. You always want to test people, don't you?" The sword replied, "That's right. What are you waiting for? Sacrifice 10 humans, to me." Seo Juheon refused. Then he clenched the sword and used his power to dominate it. The sword screamed in pain. "What are you doing? It hurts." The tomb began to shake violently. Everyone was worried. Seo Juheon said, "The one being tested here is not me, but you. If you don't kneel before me, I will break you into 100 pieces." Seo Juheon shouted, "Obey my command, Muramasa." The sword cursed, "Damn it! Damn it! How dare a mortal do this to me?" Seo Juheon increased the power he channeled into the sword. The immense power of Seo Juheon caused a whirlwind to rise, dust flying everywhere. The sword emitted a red light that blinded everyone. After the dust and smoke cleared, Seo Juheon had completely dominated the sword. Now the sword had turned blue, no longer having the dark aura as before. The dungeon has been completed. Reaching the exit, he told everyone to climb this rope. Everyone will get out of here safely. Everyone left while thanking Seo Juheon. Kiyoshi tried to blend in with the crowd to leave, but was caught by Seo Juheon. "Were you planning to kill all of them when you got out?" He promised he wouldn't do that, so he begged him to let him leave. "If I get out of here safely, I will recommend you for a job with my government." He tempted Seo Juheon. "You can earn 10 billion yen if you work for the Japanese excavation team. Also, my country possesses a prophecy relic that guides the future. You can use that relic to make your life easier." Seo Juheon laughed. "Interesting, but from what I know, a future guiding relic can only be used by its true owner. How do you want me to use it?" he replied. "There will be a team to maintain that relic. They will ensure they help you as much as possible." In the end, he agreed to let him use the rope to climb out, but he had to be the last one to climb. He laughed smugly, thinking he was saved. What a commoner! 10 billion yen clouded his eyes. He climbed the rope and falsely said, "Sorry for my previous actions. People with skills like Seo Juheon will always be welcomed in my country." Seo Juheon said he wanted to know more about the Japanese team using that prophecy relic. "If they are an unreliable group, I wouldn't want to work with them." He confidently said, "You don't need to worry about that because it's a famous group, TKBM." After getting the information, Seo Juheon smiled slyly, then kicked him down below. He was surprised by Seo Juheon's sharp turn and couldn't react in time. Seo Juheon said, "Thanks for the information. Because you wanted to live so badly, you spat out all the important information. Who would want to work with trash like you?" The tomb began to collapse. He shouted from below, "You really want to kill someone in such a cold-blooded way? Come here, you bastard, save me." Then everything became quiet. Cut to a building somewhere. In the men's restroom, Seo Juheon was washing his hands. He kept hearing curses in his ear. "Let me go, you bastard, I'll kill you." He angrily went to open his bag and said, "You bastards are the ones who need to shut up." Which relic was making noise just now? Was it you? Muramasa being held by him. Muramasa said, "Leave me alone, you bastard." Seeing it wouldn't shut up, Seo Juheon threw it into the toilet and said, "The taste of the toilet is quite nutritious." Suddenly he felt a pain in his hand. Seo Juheon's hand had been injured from using his dominance ability to obtain the relic. The normal way was to pass the relic's trial, but by ignoring this rule he had suffered some injuries while trying to dominate the relics. The stronger the relic, the greater the resistance, and if he continued on this path, Seo Juheon's body wouldn't be able to endure it for long. But he really had no other choice. If he didn't dominate these relics, they would eventually betray him. Suddenly, the system panel appeared. "You have escaped the dungeon, unlocked the basic skills for a dungeon conqueror. You will now receive a reward for completing this quest. These are the reward options for this quest. Choose wisely, the path of dominance or the path of blessing." He asked the crow, "Which one are you telling me to choose? The one I use the most? Is this some kind of test? My hand being in this state doesn't mean I'll stop what I'm doing." He decided to choose the path of dominance. The system reported, "You have successfully received the quest reward." He questioned, "Where's the reward? Why is there nothing different? Shouldn't there be some kind of prize box in this situation? If you're going to make a game-like interface, you should do it properly." Then he searched his pocket and found a small silver pill. The system indicated it was a silver pill form relic. "Eat it immediately." He looked at it skeptically, not knowing if he should eat it. "Anyway, there's nothing to lose. If I die after eating this, that's fate." Saying that, he threw the pill into his mouth. Then he took Muramasa out of the toilet to go home, smelling it. Seo Juheon said, "This smell is so unpleasant, I regret pushing it in there." Muramasa was still not scared and continued to curse. "I'll kill you, you bastard." Suddenly he felt a change in his body. The medicine had started to take effect. A moment after opening his eyes, Seo Juheon saw the wounds on his hand healing. That silver pill might be a healing relic. He was happy because he had a healing relic. It was extremely rare and valuable. The system appeared again. "You have endured the relic's poiso. and fully recovered your wounds, you have acquired the endurance skill. Seo Juhyun was surprised. Endurance. This is the first time I've seen this kind of skill. Could it be a unique skill created just for Seo Juhyun? Back at the Muramasa dungeon, a reporter was reporting tonight in Yeongdeungpo, District Seoul, a major earthquake occurred. A strange architectural model appeared in the middle of the epicenter. This mysterious architecture has trapped 50 people inside. According to witnesses, there were many dangerous hanging traps inside. One of the people there even tried to harm them. That person said he belonged to the Japanese excavation team. Our government has contacted the Japanese government and is awaiting a response from them. After this incident, the Chinese and Russian governments are also demanding an answer from the Japanese government regarding their responsibility in this action. Cut to the government meeting room of the Japanese excavation team. A loud shout was heard. "You bastard, what have you done?" Now the mass media is blaring about relics and tombs. Not only that, this is also a great disgrace for Japan. The bastard who caused this is also dead. Death is not enough for someone like him. A man was bowing his head in apology. Then he said he had just received a prophecy from Korea. He was Mochizuki, the commander of the Japanese excavation team. The other person shouted, "Who said you had the right to handle matters related to the prophecy?" He replied that they had tried their best. It was just that there were many difficult issues surrounding this matter. But now it's different. They can use the future guiding relic to find Seo Juhyun's location. The other guy asked, "Didn't you say the user of that prophecy relic needed conditions to determine the location?" He said he could find him because before the other guy died, he had told them who he was, so they could determine his location. They were studying to find a way for the reader not to necessarily be its owner. The TKBM group had spent a lot of time and money to complete this research, so the higher-ups had given them a chance. He promised this time he would do his best to destroy that Korean. The next morning at some hotel, the protagonist was lying in bed thinking about his new skill. If this endurance skill can withstand the relic's poison, that's amazing. Because all relic users have to suffer side effects. In my previous life, people thought finding a healing relic was the #1 priority. If it's really as described, then it's an amazing ability, just for me. It's all thanks to that crow relic. What trick is it planning? What does it gain by giving me these things? He asked, but no one answered. The system also didn't appear. Suddenly his phone rang. It was Hungmin calling. He immediately answered, "How's it going?" Hungmin replied that he had checked the list of participants. For this auction, there are 3 people with the name Jack. He stood up and said, "Then I'll have to go check it out myself." Suddenly, a notification board appeared. "You have been marked by a S-rank relic. Your future whereabouts can now be exposed." He was surprised. Future guidance. This is annoying. Seo Juhyun was deep in thought when Hungmin called. He replied that he would go to their place, but not immediately, because he had somewhere else to visit first. The Book of Future Guidance of Prince Shotoku. Prince Shotoku was a politician and a regent during the Asuka period, and the Future Guidance was a prophetic sutra written by him, although there is no evidence of its existence. This ancient book is considered a legendary item, but it seems it was the first relic to integrate itself into human society. Instead of creating a tomb, it chose its own owner. There was an old book thrown on the street. Then a blonde girl came and picked it up. "What is this? It's all dirty." Then she put it back on the ground. That girl was Sasaki Kiko, the one chosen by the Future Guidance to be its owner. Since then, the Future Guidance has always followed her, no matter where she was. Even if she tore, burned, or threw it away, it would still appear intact. That scared Sasaki. However, the Japanese government soon got information about Sasaki's Future Guidance and made an offer to support her in using it for the Japanese excavation team. Thus, Sasaki's family escaped their difficult life and began to enjoy a comfortable one. With the help of the Future Guidance, the Japanese excavation team collected countless relics. It seemed everything was going well thanks to that girl Sasaki, but Sasaki dropped out of school to use the Future Guidance for the government, so she couldn't understand the real meaning when difficult characters appeared. She also couldn't fully use the power of the Future Guidance. Later, a better relic user than her would appear, leading to her death. At first, Seo Juhyun intended to ignore that prophecy relic because she would die and disappear anyway. But now that they dared to track his location, everything changed. Not only that, they were also colluding with that bastard Kwon, so he couldn't let them be. Cut to an apartment somewhere. A blonde girl was watching TV. This girl was Sasaki Kiko, who was crazy about handsome guys. She was watching the handsome Zo Shuk-san sing when someone appeared and told her to go read the Future Guidance relic. She whined that it was getting to the good part. He said, "This is the 4th time you've watched that show." She replied, "What's wrong with 4 times? I still find it good." She sat at the table and said she always had to read and translate those difficult kanji. He replied, "If there are any characters you don't understand, draw them and give them to everyone." Then suddenly she screamed, startling the 2 people there, who ran over worriedly. She said fearfully, "It says I will die. This time it's written very clearly, I will be killed." Sasaki said it must be because of that Korean Abe-san also lost his life because of him. The girl comforted Sasaki. "Calm down. Did you see any other prophecies besides that one? You have the power to see the future, so you don't have to worry. Look carefully again." The guy next to her added, "That's right. If that guy intends to kill you, there will be more prophecies about it." Sasaki began to calm down. She could see the future, so she couldn't lose to him. At Haneda Airport, he had just gotten off the plane. At the same time, there was an emergency announcement to all units. A Korean relic user had arrived in Japan. They would track him through the future guidance. It had pointed out his next step. The commander told his troops, "This is our chance to handle all the troubles. We will act first." All of them received the order. Understood. At a Japanese restaurant, Seo Joo-hyun was eating sushi with great relish. He wondered when those guys would attack him. He would continuously threaten Sasaki's life, so they would definitely find him. The future diary would definitely inform Sasaki about the curse he wrote for her. That relic would definitely pay attention to it, because that relic couldn't specifically identify him, so he would carry out the plan very slowly. Suddenly there was a noise outside. He thought the Japanese soldiers must be here. Outside the door, 3 men were waiting with guns, ready for Seo Joo-hyun. The other guy turned and asked Sasaki who was carrying food. "Are you ready?" Sasaki wondered, "Why is this so unreasonable? That person wants to kill me, so why do I have to go in there?" He said she just needed to look into his eyes, that way she could track him. From there they would know everything about him, and he wouldn't know what she looked like either, so she wouldn't be discovered. And if things get complicated, there are people here. Sasaki thought, "That's right, I can get through this." People say the ability to see the future is the strongest ability. Now I have the advantage, and he doesn't know what I look like. Sasaki opened the door and walked in saying, "Here is your order." As soon as she saw his face, her heart pounded. He's so handsome. Even more handsome than So-shuk-san. Oh my god, are people really planning to kill him? What a waste. Seo Joo-hyun thanked her and thought, "This is the user of the future guidance relic. She came to see me herself." He was about to pick up his sword. At this time at the command center, they were in a panic. "That bastard is drawing his weapon. Get in there now. Sasaki is in danger." The guys outside were also confused, not knowing what Sasaki was doing in there. "I told you to look at him and then retreat immediately." Then the door suddenly closed, leaving the 2 guys outside bewildered. After closing the door, Sasaki happily turned around and said, "Oppa, can I be your fan?" Seo Joo-hyun was also dumbfounded, not understanding anything. Sasaki laughed and said, "That's right, you're not a celebrity, are you?" The commander was watching, not understanding why Sasaki had closed the door. The subordinate pointed and said, "The girl is talking to him. She must be trying to get information." Seo Joo-hyun asked again, "What did you say?" The girl thought he didn't understand, so she took out her phone and wrote it down, then showed it to him. He saw her message and was speechless. Seo Joo-hyun didn't understand what she was thinking. Did she know she was in danger right now? But that's okay, it was also good for him. He took his phone and texted back. Seeing his reply, she was very happy. The 2 guys were still guarding outside, waiting for an opportunity, when suddenly the table from inside the room flew out, surprising them. Before they could react, both of them were tied up by the bracelet relic. At this time, Seo Joo-hyun and Sasaki slowly walked out of the room. Seo Joo-hyun laughed and said, "I knew you guys were planning something, so I prepared a rope in advance." Seeing her worried, he said, "Don't worry, I just tied them up for a bit so no one will disturb our date." Both of them were now in the room. Seo Joo-hyun was tapping his phone, his fingers flying. The girl there looked quite happy. He finished typing, smiled and showed her the phone. "This is it." Thought he was typing something, but it turned out he didn't dare to ask her out on a date. In the phone he had texted, "Do you want to go on a date with me?" The girl smiled happily. She just said, "You know Vietnamese." He heard that, stood up and adjusted his jacket, not knowing what he was thinking, but his smirk was very womanizing. He said he knew a little and asked her if she didn't come here alone. He guessed that she might have come here with the Japanese army. The girl sitting below looked up and heard him say that, sweating a little. She probably thought, "How does he know that?" After saying that, she also said, "That's right." Seo Joo-hyun sat down again, turned to her and said with a smile, "They don't like me, so they won't let you go with me." He thought she would find it boring, so he asked, "This is quite boring, isn't it?" He also said he wouldn't be surprised if they made her study and do tedious work every day. The girl heard that and agreed. She said, "That's right." After saying that, Seo Joo-hyun suddenly raised his hand and stroked her head, also saying something like, "Let's escape together," and cause some trouble, not forgetting to remind her to follow him. This action of his made the girl unable to help but pay attention to him. A single stroke of her head made her feel a flutter. She seemed to be blushing, thinking to herself, he's not as scary as I thought. Hyunwoo really has top-notch acting skills, so they went on a date together, but on the way, they met some people blocking their path. He didn't hesitate to beat them up. It seemed there was some kind of conspiracy. He kept laughing as if he had a grasp of something. Right next to him, the girl saw him take action and thought to herself, "Is he really the one who wants to kill me?" Both she and he had now reached an alley not far from there. The girl still thought to herself that since she had made eye contact with him, she could read his future. Even though his head pat made her like him a little, she was still suspicious of him, and her thinking she had the upper hand because of her ability to read the future. Seo Joo-hyun was the same. How could he trust her completely? He walked here, turned his head back and said, "This should be far enough." The girl's face was also smiling cutely. She thought she had the advantage, but a second later she felt regret for leaving the future notebook at home. For some reason she guessed that the notebook was no longer important since she met him, and a radiant smile bloomed on her face. In a flash the Muramasa appeared before her eyes. This sharp sword made her jump in fright, a little hesitant. She raised her hands, wanting to beg. Seo Juhaeon, who pointed the tip of the sword at her, telling her not to say anything. He didn't ask for much, just told her to give him her phone. At the sharp point of the sword, she saw that and obeyed, taking out her phone and giving it to him. Successfully making someone obey him, he said with a smug expression. Good. A second later, he immediately threw the phone to the ground and stomped on it. In the moment, the phone broke in two. The girl saw him do this with her own eyes and screamed, "Ah, my phone!" Frustrated, she shouted, "What the hell are you doing?" But Seo Juhaeon's expression didn't change at all. He held the sword close to her, signaling her to be quiet. Then he said he just wanted to get rid of the things they would use to track him, and you'll be in big trouble if the Japanese army finds you. He said this while turning the girl around because he knew beforehand he could easily manipulate her psychologically. He whispered in her ear, "Do you really think I don't know who you are?" he asked her. "You are the user of the prophecy relic, aren't you?" Hearing him say that, she started to worry, her face pouting as if she were about to cry. She thought to herself, "What should I do now? He knows who I am." She even thought he was scarier than she had originally thought. "I thought he was a good guy, but it turns out he's a bad boy." Life really isn't like a dream. The girl didn't know what to say, so she and he went to a drink shop. The two chose a room and also chose their drinks. Seo Juhaeon chose orange juice, while the girl chose a strawberry smoothie, which looked very delicious. The waiter served the drinks and wished them a good time, then left. The waiter had just closed the door when Seo Juhaeon ordered the rope to tie the girl's hands. She was very surprised and resisted, saying, "You've gone too far." She cursed him as a liar and said she couldn't believe his words. This is a date. Even though he had tied the girl up, he was still very calm and even laughed. "Haha, what's wrong with you? We're already together in this couple's cafe, right?" He held the smoothie in one hand and a spoon in the other, as if he were about to eat it. Not caring what she thought, he even asked, "If this isn't a date, then what is it?" The girl was confused, her face a little worried, and asked him back, "What are you going to do?" She asked if he would really kill her, as the prophecy said. Seo Juhaeon was still enjoying her smoothie. He replied that he had intended to kill her sooner, and even said threateningly, "If you had approached me a little closer, then I would have thought about slitting your throat with the muramasa." He called her stupid and said she was stupider than he thought. "We could have gone so far," saying that he took out a notebook and placed it on the table. He spoke seriously about the prophecy. He told her to write down everything she saw in it, in the notebook for him, but she possessed such a precious notebook and didn't realize she could summon it whenever she wanted. Her face was worried as she said she had forgotten it at home. But he wanted to confirm that what he said was right, to confirm that she was really stupider than he thought. He lifted her shirt and said, "You think I care about that? This tattoo started appearing after you started using the prophecy relic, right?" He stood up, held her hand, and said, "Touch your tattoo and call out that relic. You can summon it here." After saying that, he plopped down on the chair, his tone mocking her. "I can't believe you don't know something as basic as this." The girl saw that and called the prophecy relic. In a moment, the future book appeared immediately, so it can be summoned, she said with a little surprise. It really appeared. And so she had to write laboriously with her hands tied. Seo Juhaeon didn't feel any pity for her. He picked up the smoothie again and continued to enjoy it, not forgetting to remind her to write as much as possible. Not to mention, he even threatened her. "If you miss a single line, you're a dead man, okay? Focus." Hearing that she didn't know what to say, and just wrote and wrote, but her face was very tense, afraid he would kill her. Time passed, and the smoothie that was once full to the brim was now empty. He finished eating and just sat there playing with his phone. A second later, he looked up at her. Her writing speed had slowed down. He was also very cruel, not letting her rest. He told her not to even think about resting. "Why are you writing so slowly?" The girl heard that and said quietly that her hand hurt. She asked him how much more he needed. The same old answer, as much as possible. She was still very afraid of death, so she offered him the future guidance, begging him to let her go. But he still had an indifferent expression and replied with a single no, then told her to keep writing. In his heart, he thought, "If I wanted it, I would have stolen it long ago," but thinking again, it was an S-rank relic. He then thought about the Pandora relic ranking system. The future book she possessed was almost at the highest rank. If he tried to suppress a high-level relic, the effect would be immeasurable. Previously, Seo Juhaeon had been seriously injured trying to control the Muramasa, which was of a lower rank than the future guidance. He thought to himself, "If I try to steal it now, I might just get blown to bits." No matter what, he had to think about himself first. Seo Juhaeon currently had no healing relics with him, so he probably wouldn't dare to do something so reckless, even for money. While it was quiet, suddenly there was the sound of footsteps outside. He immediately noticed. It turned out there were 3 soldiers in uniform entering the shop. The owner there was also worried about her shop and customers. With a worried expression, she said, "Please stop, my customers will be disturbed." But one of them, who seemed to be the captain, had a grim expression and said that they would handle it quickly. "Please step back." Next, he ordered the other 2 to check all exits and every room. Receiving the order, the other 2 ran off to check. In here, Seo Juhaeon had also realized they're here. He turned to the girl and asked how much she had written. She replied that she was almost done with the first book. A book like that is enough. He walked to the table and then took the notebook. She asked him if he was going to let her go, but it's not over yet. He said there was still one more thing. Here we go again. He took out the sword from his backpack again. The girl thought he was going to kill her and was startled, frantically begging him, "Please don't kill me. I'll write more for you. Killing me won't benefit you at all." Despite her words, he smiled and raised the Muramasa sword as if ready to slash her. But no, he didn't want to kill her. He told her, "This is the only way you'll survive." His dangerousness made the girl tremble with fear. He smirked, looking scary, and decisively stabbed the sword down into the book. It turned out he was destroying the relic, not intending to kill her. The moment the sword pierced the relic, lightning suddenly appeared, accompanied by the screams of the relic. The shock made the relic scream in anger. "What are you doing, human?" The book screamed in pain, and that was the end. At his unexpected action, the girl was truly amazed by this strange phenomenon. She fell back into her chair in shock. Successfully killed the relic. The system displayed a notification. Relic detection skill increased, and your scouting skill also increased by 1 level. Because he had destroyed a high-level relic, he became known as the Giant Hunter. In addition, he also successfully unlocked a new title, the Destroyer of Evil Relics. He then realized the answer to the question of why he got skill points for killing a relic. It was an evil relic, so that's why I got so many achievements. Seo Juheon glanced over it and found it hard to understand why so many windows were appearing. At this moment, a loud bang sounded. It was deafening. The Japanese army now knew of his presence in the room and suddenly rushed in. One of them didn't hesitate to kick down the door of the owner's shop and shouted, "So you're in here!" The captain was also there, seeing the future guidance being burned by those green flames. He looked at it with great surprise and shouted, "What happened to the future guidance?" Seo Juheon did nothing but stand there and laugh, then told him, "What's so surprising? I even admitted that I destroyed it." The captain stood there speechless after hearing that. He gritted his teeth in anger, immediately pointed his finger at him and shouted an order to kill him. "Edward Moji, kill him," he pointed at Seo Juheon. "Are you kidding? Try shooting if you're capable," Seo Juheon sneered. What Edward gritted his teeth. "Eat this." Seo Juheon threw a mochi at him. Suddenly a notification appeared in front of him. "Delicious mochi of the maid rank. See normal consumable relic, single use. It belonged to Abe. Now, I'm returning it to you. I heard it tastes to die for." After saying that, Seo Juheon disappeared. That bastard disappeared. What trick is he playing? What's that smell? That's my mochi. Give it to me. The 2 soldiers following Edward rushed in. "You bastards, this is my mochi. You should know your place," he shouted. "I have a gun too. Give me that mochi. It's mine." There's no escape relic, as good as the delicious mochi of the maid. Not only does it charm enemies, but it also allows the user to teleport instantly. Anyway, look at the future guidance. There's a support group for the future guidance relic from Japan. It's the TKBM Corporation. Because of that, Sasaki might have contacted Kwon. The prophecies here might be about him. Let's see, where is it? Seo Juheon focused on a page, found it. Within a month, head straight to the underworld full of greed. There's a sign related to the world disaster that's about to begin. To the world full of greed. I'm pretty sure that's in Las Vegas, at the underground auction house. Midas. That's where Okamwu and his group went to gather information related to CEO Kwon. He said there were 3 people registered under the name Jack. He must be one of them. The prophecy also points to this, the final parts. The sign related to the world's greatest disaster. It must be that disaster. Seo Juheon thought the disaster of all humanity. It's an event described as relics appearing en masse all over the world. After that event, everyone knew about the existence of tombs, and the number of people who discovered relics skyrocketed. But as I remember, that disaster didn't start this early. Not only that, in the next line, the God who understands human greed offers your cooperation. Seo Juheon picked up the prophecy book again. It could be a god-level relic will appear at the auction. CEO Kwon is aiming for it to become as powerful as in his previous life, huh? If so, I have to steal it from you. Seo Juheon's face darkened with a sinister smile. In the meeting room of the Japanese excavation research team, although Sasaki has regained consciousness, she is still very weak. As for the future guidance, it has been completely destroyed. A meeting was taking place. Meanwhile, Captain MJ and his soldiers were shooting at each other. In the end, all were injured and removed from the mission. "Yes, sir." A man stood up and shouted, "What kind of ridiculous story is this? I'm truly sorry. You think this is a joke. Please calm down, Mr. Chairman. We need to... Can you still be calm?" It's confirmed that the future guidance has been destroyed. The Japanese self-defense forces also suffered heavy losses. A girl opened the door. "Are you serious, damn it? She said that only one person caused all this." "Yes, it seems so." "Who is this crazy bastard? What should we do? Should we take revenge for this loss?" "Revenge? There's no need for that." A mysterious man was talking to the girl. "But the amount of money we invested to research the future guidance is now all for nothing." "That's right, but think about it. If a person has the ability to destroy the future guidance, this person also has some power. What if we recruit this person to our team, but this person destroys rare relics without hesitation? What if he does the same to the company's relics? What should we do if he harms the chairman's relics? Haha, it won't be a problem if we pay him handsomely. There's nothing money can't solve. All you need to do is find this person's information. In Las Vegas, USA. Why are these bastards so late? That sentence caught Seo Juhyun's attention. Here they are, Seo Juhyun. Oh, Sungu called him. What did you say? No, I'm with the person over there. We have something to discuss, you hear? You guys are 30 minutes late? That's because that tall guy wouldn't let us in. Oh, Sungu explained, this is the Midas auction house. Only participants are allowed in. If you're not a participant, please leave. See, this guy keeps rambling. What did we do wrong for you to treat us like this? If you three continue to behave like this, we'll be forced to use strong measures. Damn it, what is he saying? Speak Korean. Look, he's still acting all high and mighty. You're in America, and you want them to speak Korean. Well, these three are my guests. Let them sit here, okay? Ah, I'm sorry, it seems I've made a mistake. Oh, Sungu and the others were stunned. Haha, it's okay. Look at how shabbily he's dressed. The man from before left. You know how to speak English. Oh, Sungu was surprised. That's not the problem, report what you found. Okay, Seo Juhyun held a file. This is the document related to the three people named Jack. It seems you guys did your research thoroughly. These guys are quite useful. So have you found the person you want, oh Sungu? Asked Seo Juhyun. Yes, he replied leisurely. This is definitely the fake identity of CEO Kwon. If he's here, it means there's a very valuable relic at this place. I have to check first. If there's really a god-level relic, why are you looking at the auction catalogue? Only the super rich gather at this place. If you win the auction, you won't have enough money to pay, even if you sell your house. Seo Juhyun ignored Oh Sungu's words. You don't have any god-level relics here. What is the prophecy talking about Hammurabi's code and Shakespeare's quill? Oh, Sungu didn't understand what Seo Juhyun was saying. I'm confused. There are a few things I want to buy. Are you going to participate in the auction? Oh, Sungu slammed the table and shouted, Yes, Seo. Juhyun replied leisurely, Are you kidding me? This is the Midas auction. The starting bid is usually from 10 billion or 20 billion won. We're just here to make some connections. We don't have the money to buy anything. You're saying I don't have the money to buy things here? Seo Juhyun closed the catalogue and left his seat. Wait, where are you going? Oh, Sungu and the others chased after him. Did you forget this is a city of gambling? You have to do something to earn some money. You're going to make money from gambling. You're crazy. This guy is really crazy. How much higher can the number go? He still has 10 more turns. It could go higher. I can't believe it. Oh, Sungu was surprised. This machine can give so much prize money. If you don't withdraw the money immediately, you can accumulate that much, but that makes things even crazier. He earned several million won just from a slot machine. Oh, Sungu broke out in a sweat. How could he do that? Seo Juhyun sneered. Let's go somewhere else. Stop loitering. Follow me to exchange the money. Seo Juhyun held the receipt and said, How much is this? You Seo Juhyun, I'm starting to admire you a little. What if some crazy guy comes and kills us all to rob the money? Stop right there. A hand reached out in front of Seo Juhyun. May I search you, sir? We don't have many jackpot winners. Sure you won't find anything? You're right, sir. May I ask what that is? The attendant noticed the ring with a gold plate on Seo Juhyun's hand. A souvenir I bought. It's a golden knife. It's beautifully gold-plated, so I wear it often. Yes, just a normal souvenir, Seo Juhyun sneered. Haha, of course it looks like that. But that knife is actually the golden axe and silver axe in disguise. Why do I have to transform into this humiliating form? The golden axe spoke. How much longer do I have to stay in this form, master? Changing a relic's form is one of the most important skills of a relic user. The golden axe has the ability to detect wealth and value. That's why I know which machine will give me the most jackpots I can even find. Which casino is the easiest to win at? What a precious relic. I'm sorry, it seems you are very lucky, sir. The staff also checked the machines. I've never seen anything like this before. Let's go to another casino. Don't overdo it with this stuff. Hey, Seo Juhyun. Oh, Sungu called him. Tell me your secret. How can I help you, sir? Seo Juhyun placed the check on the table. Exchange it all for cash. The female employee was surprised. We will take you to the VIP room. Please wait a moment. No need, I'm in a hurry. Just give me the cash. Oh my god, I've never seen so much cash in my life. This is enough for us to live for the rest of our lives. Oh, Sungu shouted. We're rich. We're millionaires. It seems you guys have misunderstood something. It's not your money hearing Seo Juhyun say that everyone was surprised. They broke out in a sweat at his words. Ah, of course, but this is still a lot of money, Seo Juhyun sneered. Hey, Seo Juhyun, do you really need to participate in the auction? Take all this money and enjoy it. Wouldn't that be better? With this money, you can buy whatever you like and live happily for the rest of your life. Because my goal is to get the relic at the auction. If I want to confront CEO Kwon, I need a little more money. Seo Juhyun remained silent, not answering Oh Sungu's question. Hurry up and eat. I have to go to another casino. Again. Oh, Sungu was startled. Hee, I can smell money, that's right. When will the master change me back to my original form? Whatever, I'll enjoy the smell of despair from this casino a little longer. He stopped beating around the bush. Find me a jackpot machine. All right, let's see. Suddenly a system notification appeared. You have approached a relic. Enjoy your compatibility with the relic. Your scouting skill has increased. Oh, although the casino is a place to make money, there's still a problem. It's also like a battlefield, a place where people seek despair and sorrow. Wherever people suffer, that place is a paradise for relics. I don't like doing things that please relics. Let's just make money quickly and get out of here. Wait, Ju-hyun, a voice called out to Seo Ju-hyun. What's in your bag? Why is it suddenly? Seo Ju-hyun opened his bag. It's coming, the silver axe said. It's coming soon. Seo Ju-hyun was surprised. If the golden axe has the ability to find wealth and prosperity, then the silver axe has the ability to detect those who intend to threaten its owner. Why is this axe screaming? Seo Ju-hyun's face darkened. You cheating bastard! The argument drew everyone's attention. Cheating. Give me the money, sir, please stop. This place is dangerous. The machines are all falling apart. Someone pickpocketed me. Damn it, I lost everything. What the hell is going on here? Oh Sung-gu didn't understand what was happening. Behind him, an attendant with a knife wanted to attack. Oh Sung-gu! Give me the money, he shouted. Seo Ju-hyun glared at him. Looking at your clothes, you're a dealer at this casino. Are you crazy? What were you thinking attacking a customer like that? Seo Ju-hyun questioned. There are no tombs nearby. Why did he suddenly? Then Seo Ju-hyun noticed a girl. What a beautiful girl. An actress, I bet she's famous. Oh Sung-gu said, drooling. Let's get out of here. Pack up quickly, Seo Ju-hyun shouted. Why Oh Sung-gu wondered. I didn't expect her to be here. No wonder bad luck is spreading like a plague. We have to avoid her. Irene Houghton, the youngest daughter of the wealthy Houghton banking family. But there was just one thing wrong with her, Seo Ju-hyun, and everyone were running when Irene noticed them. God-level relics are the most powerful of all relics. The owner of a god-level relic is above everyone else. Because of this, those who use them are called gods. Titles like God of Fate, God of Conquest, God of Wealth. Those people held immense power in the age of relics. Among them, Irene Houghton was one of the owners of a very terrifying god-level relic. Her title was the God of Failure. Everything near her became unlucky. People would lose all their money and go bankrupt. She even once caused a global economic chaos, so she had to be avoided at all costs. Hey, you there. Wait a minute, Irene called out to Seo Ju-hyun. He was startled and ran away. Wait for me. A notification appeared again. You have detected a murderous aura from the door. Your relic has suffered serious damage. Warning, the number of uses of your relic will be greatly consumed. Damn it. Irene ran up to Seo Ju-hyun. Can you listen to me? Then she touched Seo Ju-hyun's arm, and a murderous aura emanated from it. The system immediately warned, you are being enveloped by a murderous aura. Due to the heavy murderous aura, your relic has suffered serious damage. The number of uses of your relic will be greatly consumed. Your luck is being overwhelmed by the murderous aura. Everything you do now will lead to failure. Your work efficiency is greatly reduced. Hearing this, Seo Ju-hyun pushed her hand away. Let go of me. Irene Houghton stammered. I'm sorry, I was too excited to see you, so I went a little overboard. The two friends with Seo Ju-hyun saw this and whispered to each other. Why is Seo Ju-hyun acting like that? How would I know? It looks like he just saw a ghost. At this moment, another guy in a purple shirt said, I remember who that girl is. The two guys heard that and turned their faces. What? He continued, she's Irene Houghton, I'm sure of it. The other two were shocked. What, that American girl from the Houghton family? The guy in purple replied, that's right, I've seen this face on the internet. While the people around were whispering, Irene Houghton asked, Seo Ju-hyun, are you the one who keeps hitting the jackpot that everyone is talking about? I've been looking for you all this time. Seo Ju-hyun's face was anxious. Then she continued, if you can you tell me how you did that? He heard that and felt confused. Why would the richest person in the world, like you, be curious about winning a jackpot? Strange. After thinking, he coldly told her, you've mistaken me for someone else. Then he turned and walked away. The group with Seo Ju-hyun chased after him. You crazy bastard, don't you know who this girl is? She's Irene Hilton. She came all this way to find you, and you let her down. Seo Ju-hyun didn't care about what he said. Seeing that, he shouted, do you hear me? Stop, let's talk things out with her. Don't miss this opportunity. Seo Ju-hyun heard that and got annoyed, thinking, those idiots. Then he turned around and saw the three of them lying on the ground at Irene Houghton's feet, crying and clutching their stomachs. 911, call 911. My stomach. Around their place, a strange gas was rising. Irene Houghton stammered, please excuse me. A moment later, a pathetic scream was mixed with curses at Ju-hyun. Easy, you idiots. Come here quick. Wait a minute. Seo Ju-hyun sat down and told Oh Sung-gu, listen carefully. You have to stay as far away from that woman as possible. Oh Sung-gu wondered, what do you mean? He didn't explain further, stood up and walked away. When you recover, take the bag and go somewhere to keep the money safe. Oh, Sung-gu sat there and asked, where are you going, Seo? Ju-hyun replied, the auction house. After I'm done, I'll call you guys to bring the money. He thought I was planning to earn a little more before the auction starts, but I have to give up. I can't lose any more money. At the auction house, Seo Ju-hyun blended into the bustling crowd, walking and thinking. What reason could she have for looking for me? While lost in his thoughts, he suddenly heard a strange voice right next to him. Hey, you don't block the way. This is the VIP entrance. Commoners go that way. Seo Ju-hyun heard that, looked over and thought, Yoon Si-woo, he's CEO Kwon's right-hand man. He's younger than before, but he still has that annoying face. If this bastard is here, then CEO Kwon is also here. Suddenly next to Yoon Si-woo, a man in a suit with a stern face appeared. He continued to mock. Isn't that right, Mr. Chairman? Seo Joo-hyun looked at him and thought, CEO Kwon Tae-jun, I've finally met you. In his mind, a memory from the past replayed. The image of Seo Joo-hyun, covered in injuries, shouting wildly, all right, come on, I'll tear you to pieces from the inside. And that bastard Kwon Tae-jun, even if I become a ghost, I will destroy your life. Back to the present, Chairman. Kwon glanced at him, then turned and walked away. Yoon Si-woo immediately followed behind him. Seo Joo-hyun saw that and thought, he doesn't recognize me. I'll take all the relics you plan to buy at this auction. The winner will be me. After thinking, he continued to walk. At this moment from behind, people panicked. What's going on? My stocks are plummeting. I lost all my money because of the flight. What does that mean? My phone isn't working. It was fine a minute ago. Seo Joo-hyun looked at the panicked people and thought, wait, don't tell me. Then he saw Irene Houghton. In his heart, he was terrified. Oh shit, she followed me all the way here. He quickly walked away, but she saw his back and shouted, wait for me. Seo Joo-hyun wondered how she found him in the crowded stream of people. She came closer and said, please listen to me. I'm really desperate. I don't know what to do. Seo Joo-hyun was just focused on running away and carelessly bumped into the door. Irene Houghton came over and asked, are you okay? You ran into the door pretty hard. Seo Joo-hyun angrily shouted, do I look okay? Stop following me. All of this is happening because of you. Irene Houghton looked at him happily and said, you're right, that's my problem. Seo Joo-hyun looked at this girl in confusion. What was that answer just now? Irene Houghton looked around and explained. I don't know if you'll believe me, but it seems I bring bad luck to anyone around me. I want to be as lucky as you, because I believe there's a way to make everyone around me happy. Seo Joo-hyun looked at her and thought, she's the god of failure, the one who ruined the finances of countless people and destroyed many nations. Why is she like this? Is she acting? Irene Houghton came closer, held his hand and pleaded, can you tell me how to get as lucky as you? I'll do anything to know. If it's money, I'll give you as much as you want. Seo Joo-hyun looked at this girl in fear. The system panel appeared again. Due to the appearance of a god-level relic's murderous aura, immunity has been activated. You are being attacked by a god-level relic. Immunity has been increased. The system produced a small silver pill. Seo Joo-hyun looked at it in surprise and thought, immunity, that's the skill I got from eating that silver pill from the quest reward. At that time I only knew it gave me a skill. This skill was activated by a god-level relic. It was activated by her relic attacking me. Thinking that he smirked and told her, you're right, I'm fine. I was just thinking for a moment. Irene Houghton saw that and replied, I'm really sorry, my request was a bit too sudden. Seo Joo-hyun looked at her and thought, if this really happens, I don't have to avoid her anymore. Not only that her being near me increases my immunity, she can help me at the auction by disrupting the other participants. One stone, two birds. Wait, what about CEO Kwon? He glanced over and saw him shouting, what, our company in China suddenly caught fire? What's that about? Yoon Si-woo was sweating and anxiously said, the company just informed me. Before he could finish, Chairman Kwon asked, what about the production schedule? Can they deliver on time as promised? What are you still standing there for? Call them back and ask, Yoon Si-woo quickly replied, yes sir. Seo Joo-hyun, from a distance, guessed he got hit by the god-level relic. In the past, he would have immediately left this area. That means he doesn't know about the existence of the god of failure. He looked over at her and then smirked. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I can use her. Thinking that he agreed to her proposal, your offer isn't bad. Irene Houghton heard that and happily turned to look at him. Really? Seo Joo-hyun looked at her and said, but let me tell you one thing first. Getting as lucky as me is not an easy thing, Irene Houghton immediately replied. Of course I understand very well. He continued, although I want to talk more about this in detail, I need to participate in the auction. Seo Joo-hyun continued, if you don't mind, can you join me? It's understandable if you don't want to, because the entrance ticket is too expensive. Hearing that, she quickly came over and said, money is not a problem for me. Seo Joo-hyun looked at her silhouette and smirked, thinking I knew you would follow me. Buying an entrance ticket here is like buying a piece of chewing gum for you, Irene Houghton. I'm curious to see what kind of person you'll become. At the auction area, the announcer said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to begin the 74th auction. The first item on our list is... Seo Joo-hyun looked around and thought, so many empty seats. After Irene Houghton joined the auction with me within 3 minutes, only 2 competitors were left. Most people had to go deal with unexpected bad luck. Kwon Tae-jun didn't leave even though his factory in China caught fire. That means he really wants something at this auction. Irene Houghton excitedly turned and said to him, that item is a Russian imperial wine over 100 years old. Are you planning to buy it? Seo Joo-hyun replied, the item I'm interested in appears in the second half of the auction. Irene Houghton laughed. Haha, is that so? Seo Joo-hyun looked at Irene Houghton in silence and thought, she's the god of failure. Irene Houghton. But she's completely different from what I remember, but it doesn't seem like she's acting. The strangest part of all this is suddenly a memory flashed in Seo Joo-hyun's mind. Irene Houghton said to Seo Joo-hyun, I don't know if you'll believe me, but it seems I bring bad luck to anyone around me. Seo Juhyun thought to himself, the truth is, she doesn't know anything about relics. If that happened, the relic must have attached itself to her. Back to reality, he asked her, "What are you doing?" She replied, "You listened to me and believed my words. I feel much better having someone to tell my troubles." Seo Juhyun smiled and said, "That's no big deal." As soon as he finished speaking, the system suddenly reported, because the owner's mood is happier, the relic's power has also been enhanced. The relic's power is increasing at a dizzying speed. Irene Houghton, after hearing him speak, smiled brightly and said, "What do you mean? It's no big deal. It makes me extremely happy." Suddenly, a faint light emanated from where they were. Seo Juhyun shouted. And then the system panel appeared again, reporting, "The relic's influence has spread within a 1,000 kilometer radius. Bad luck is enveloping you. The relic you possess is being seriously damaged." Inside, Seo Juhyun screamed, "It's breaking into pieces. Master, do something." Seo Juhyun thought, "I can't believe the happier the user is, the stronger the relic becomes." Irene Houghton asked in confusion, "What just happened?" He continued to wonder, what kind of psycho relic is this? Seeing the system panel show his immunity had greatly increased, he thought, the immunity skill is increasing like crazy. If this continues, my relics will all fall apart. Seo Juhyun turned to her and said, "Don't get your hopes up. I would feel terrible if we couldn't come to an agreement," Irene Houghton replied. "Thinking back, we still haven't discussed what we can do for each other," Seo Juhyun said. "And about your luck getting better. How can you be sure you won't bring bad luck to the people around you anymore?" Irene Houghton heard that and fell silent. "You're right. I think there's no guarantee of that." Her mood dropped. Suddenly the system panel reported, because the owner's mood has decreased, the relic's power has also gradually decreased. He saw that and sighed in relief. The auction announcer announced, "It seems there was a small tremor just now, but everything has been resolved. The current price is $770,000. Is there anyone who will bid higher?" Someone said $1 million. Then another person shouted, "What are you trying to do? If you don't like it, you can bid higher. Whatever the price, I'll play along. Haha, you think you can beat me?" Seo Juhyun looked at them arguing and thought, their minds are not right. They're being influenced by the relic. "Wait a minute, I can use her to eliminate the remaining competitors." Seo Juhyun said to Irene Houghton, "Hey, you don't have to be sad. Everything is still unclear. Who knows, if you're luckier, people won't have bad luck anymore. Let's handle this soon. You said you wanted to know how to be lucky, and I'll show you how." Irene Houghton was overjoyed and said, "Really?" Seo Juhyun smirked and thought, "I deliberately said that to make Irene Houghton happy. I tricked her into believing I could handle her problem. Because when she's happy, the relic's power increases many times over. As a result, the remaining competitors will lose control and bid on whatever they see. In the end, they'll burn all their money on useless, extravagant things. I'm glad everything went smoothly, because everyone burned their money in the first half of the auction. I can ensure the safety of all the relics I want in the second half. There are a few relics I have to concede to Kwon Tae-jun. That's because he's not much affected by the relic's power. That's because his relic dominance is too high, that bastard. But my understanding of relics is much better than his, so I only conceded a few rather useless relics to him." Then he took out a pen and paper, wrote something down and said, "Let's see the code of Hammurabi Shakespeare's quill. Marie Antoinette's necklace." Seo Juhyun thought, the god-level relic mentioned in the prophecy still hasn't appeared. The auction is over, strange. Suddenly, Irene Houghton turned and asked Seo Juhyun, "So have you decided to make a deal with me? I feel like you're just talking in circles." Seo Juhyun heard that, put away his pen and paper, and said, "I'm very sorry. I think it's time for me to be a little more serious. Let's go somewhere quieter and talk in detail and make a deal. The auction is about to end anyway." He was about to leave when the announcer said, "All right, we will start tonight's surprise event. Let's reveal the final item. It's the mysterious almond tree that has attracted a lot of attention lately." Seo Juhyun suddenly realized, wait, that's the elixir tree of Qin Shi Huang. Seo Juhyun looked at it and judged, that's a god-level relic. Not only that, it's also a healing type. I have to get it at all costs. Below the elixir tree, the relic itself cried out, "You arrogant humans. Take care of me properly. Don't use this fake sunlight, and bring me some real sunlight." After Seo Juhyun thought he had to win it, he stood up and raised his hand. Seeing Kwon Tae-jun also raise his hand, he thought, damn it, he knows it's an extremely valuable relic. Seo Juhyun thought back. Emperor Qin Shi Huang was a powerful figure of the Qin dynasty. When rumors of the elixir tree spread, the emperor sent people everywhere to find it.